The Jotuns must learn to fear me, just as they once feared you.
That's pride and vanity talking, not leadership. You've forgotten everything I taught you. But a warrior's patience.
Thor grew up believing that every problem could be solved by just hitting it with a hammer. But in the fifth movie, characters way stronger than the God of Thunder will show up, and conflicts will have to be solved through talking and the tongue. But can Thor even handle that? Guess we should ask Jane Foster. The tale of the Thunderer continues in the fifth Thor movie. This will be Chris Hemsworth's final film dedicated to Odin's son. An insider reports that filming will begin in 2026, and the movie will hit theaters in 2027. That year is set to be packed with major hits from Mr. Feige's Secret Wars, X-Men, and the fifth Thor won't leave anyone indifferent. Insider Alex Paris revealed that the project will feature Valhalla, the afterlife for fallen warriors, as well as the Thor Corps, showcasing different versions of the God of Thunder from across the multiverse. Moreover, Hercules, Ares, and the Enchantress will play major roles, either as Thor's rivals or his allies. The movie is expected to feature massive, epic battles between gods, personal tragedies, shifting values, and identity crises, all of which will take a backseat to the main spectacle. Additionally, after visiting Valhalla, the mighty Avenger will gain new powers. Among the top contenders for the director's chair are Gareth Edwards, Chloe Zhao, and Kenneth Branagh. After the disastrous fourth movie, Taika Waititi was fired, and if the director still exists somewhere, he's probably hiding in the far corners of the universe, keeping quieter than quiet. Maestro Josh Miller could also take the place of the divine director. Recently, the cult filmmaker said he'd be willing to work with Chris on anything. He's an incredible actor with all the right skills. First and foremost, physically, Hemsworth looks like a guy straight out of a Michelin commercial. But is that kind of preparation enough for him to take on Ares and Hercules? What role is in store for the Enchantress? Where does Thor's strongest son Magni fit into all this? And what should we expect from Gorr's daughter, whom Thor adopted at the end of the last movie? Who will join the Thor Corps, and what new powers will the God of Thunder gain after visiting Valhalla? There are plenty of interesting questions, but the answers will be just as exciting. I made sure of that. Let's start from the beginning. In the first Thor movie, Hiddleston's character outshined everyone. He was the most interesting and, frankly, the most reasonable one. No surprise that Loki, with his bold performance, stole the audience's attention. Many hoped for a solo movie about him, but instead, we got a series where the cunning god of mischief and chaos was reduced to a lonely office clerk. In the second season, the writers made some amends, turning Thor's brother into the god of time and the entire multiverse a level of power that not even Thanos could dream of in his wildest Titan fantasies. But then, many fans had one burning question. What's next for everyone's favorite trickster? Insiders have reported that the studio has already decided on Loki's future direction. Story-wise, they're bringing him closer to Thor, setting up the long-awaited reunion of the two brothers. That's great news, because Loki and Thor never really got to say a proper goodbye. At the same time, the writers aren't planning to forget about Deadpool either. In the next Avengers movie, Wade and Thor will team up, become friends, and then Deadpool will die, bringing the God of Thunder to tears. That's your motivation, action, personal drama, and a literal Deadpool made of divine tears. Thor's daughter feels like a leftover piece. No one really knows why she's there or how the writers plan to fit her into the story. The comics have hinted at her potential development in the MCU. In recent storylines, a mysterious girl named Hallow has appeared. As a child, she was kidnapped by Hydra and subjected to brainwashing as part of a new recruitment program. The children were forced to forget their past and follow the organization's orders without question. But thanks to Spider-Woman, the children managed to break free from Hydra's control and return to their old lives. Unlike her friends, Hallow had no family waiting for her. She was an orphan. Since her origins remain a mystery, there's a chance she could be connected to Thor. She's skilled in Norse magic, drawing her power from a mystical spear. With it, she can teleport herself and others, summon lightning, fly, and create energy constructs. Her powers, appearance, and mysterious origins suggest that Hallow Run might be connected to some version of Thor from the multiverse. It's possible that this girl was introduced in the comics to lay the groundwork for Thor 5. Another offspring of the god of thunder, Magni, is the god of physical strength. Magni is a worthy rival to his own father, and Thor's enemies like the Enchantress could use that to their advantage in the 5th movie. Now, fans have 2 more big reasons to eagerly anticipate the next installment. Magni made his debut in 2003 in the 2nd volume of Thor, issue number 68. Too bad it wasn't number 69. This issue depicts a dark future where Thor becomes a tyrant. In this alternate timeline, Thor conquers Earth and marries the Enchantress. As a result, they have a son, Magni. In recent issues, the Enchantress brings her son back to life to steal Thor's power through him. We all know that Odin's power usually passes to his son Thor after his death. The Enchantress plans to take advantage of this inheritance right. She wants to orchestrate Thor's death so that his omnipotence transfers to her son, and then she'll kill her own son, hoping that the power of Thor and Magni will pass to her only living parent, which of course is the Enchantress herself. The Enchantress's plan is charming, devious, and simple, just like Zeus's motivation. After being wounded by his own lightning, the Olympian god will go on a hunt for Thor. Then, he'll hand off this not-so-complicated task to Hercules, the god of physical strength. In the comics, his physical power is limitless. Hercules has defeated both Hulk and Thor. In a recent comic, the writers showed him enduring the force of 1,000 lightning strikes. During the battle, Hercules got bored of holding back. He asked the hero Lightning, who possesses electrical powers, to charge him with the maximum amount of energy possible. Lightning warned the god that he would be absorbing 300 billion volts of electricity, 1,000 times more powerful than a regular lightning strike. Hercules just smirked as he absorbed the raging wave of electricity, unleashing a massive energy explosion that leveled the battlefield. Then, with a grin, he said that he could surpass Thor and take his place as the next god of thunder. Once again, Hercules proves that he can handle any challenge and exceed expectations. I wouldn't be surprised if, in a future movie, we see Thor using Hercules as a conduit for divine lightning. This will be a great nod to the comics. I've already told you that Thor and Hercules are best friends, so their rivalry in the movie probably won't last until the end. They will team up against a far more terrifying and powerful threat, Ares. He is the true main villain of the film. Zeus is totally washed. He doesn't fit this role at all. Everyone knows that the Olympian pantheon has 2 gods of war, and their paths don't cross. Chain of command, rules, the Geneva Convention, evacuation, supply routes, care for the wounded, all the reasonable aspects of war fall under the responsibility of Athena, the goddess of wise warfare. First and foremost, she oversees the trade and economic aspects. Ares, on the other hand, embodies the darkest and most destructive sides of war. His reckless brutality and bloodlust made him extremely unpopular among the other gods. Even Zeus wouldn't mind banishing him to Tartarus. If Ares weren't his own son, in the comics, Zeus paid little attention to Ares, but whenever he needed an enemy crushed on the battlefield, he turned to the god of war. After all, Ares is arguably the best fighter and warrior among all divine pantheons. At one point, Norman Osborn assigned him to train a squad of human soldiers. On the first day, Ares was surprisingly merciful. Live rounds were used. On the second day, he bombarded them with RPGs. On the third day, he covered the training field in foul-smelling filth and fed his soldiers bullets from an M60. On the fourth day, Ares brought out a machine gun. That raging cyclone of death would have Thor picking up his limbs all over Valhalla. I'm sure that Ares is the one who can finish off Odinson, sending him straight to Jane Foster. But what powers could Thor gain after crossing over to the other side? Most likely, it's the Odin Force, the power that should have rightfully passed to him after his father's death. And once he finds himself in Valhalla, Thor will speak with Odin and learn how to wield it. Then, using the Odin Force, he'll be able to return from Valhalla to take his revenge on Ares. In the 3rd season of What If, we saw how Aesir magic can interact with the multiverse. The Odin Force will allow Thor to travel between realities, enabling him to assemble the Thor Corps. Alex Paris revealed that one of its members will be Beta Ray Bill. Other potential team members could include Storm, who once wielded Thor's powers in the animated series Frog Thor, also known as Throg, Robot Thor, War Thor, Young Thor, and a version of the God of Thunder from Earth 1602. As seen in Paris's Insider report, the creators of the upcoming film plan to expand the number of gods and increase the scale of battles between them. They won't forget about events in the multiverse and afterlife realms, while wiping out everything on Earth as if it were a bad dream. The goal is to create not just a good movie, but a truly divine masterpiece. But one way or another, Thor's story isn't about his hammer. It's about how Marvel is trying to make up for the fourth film and bring the God of Thunder back to the top. Thanks for watching. See you next time, friends.